together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Raw Recovery, a Trudging Together podcast. My name is Dion. I'm going to be your host along with my daughter, Kira. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
I'm just doing a little bit of sharing over here. Very got to most places, but today we're going to talk about the pains of growth. Whether that be childhood, or there's a lot of stuff to cover here, but I thought that this was a good topic because both Kira and I have different. Well, we grew up differently, you know. Um, so I thought we might have a different experience. That and the male female experience, generational experience. I mean, there's a lot of differences, but it's a lot the same. It really is. So you find that people usually get here about 3 minute mark. That's
We
usually
both had to raise ourselves. I know that's a definite.
there we go. If there's something that we have in common, we had to raise ourselves. It was a little. So I'll start with I'm a latchkey kid, so everybody kind of knows my story when it comes to that. Yeah, our parents were like, "Hey, you know, good
I'm
luck."
matching. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so
Are you?
sorry.
No, don't worry about it. Same age too. Look at us.
No, mine's my right hand. What did you do?
It's a trick of the camera. It's my left hand. But that works out because I'm right-handed and you are not. So you're left-handed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Apparently, I like to do a lot of things with my right hand too. So,
And I don't know what it is with my left hand. I have a ganglion cyst.
what is that?
It's just a cyst in my wrist. And when it gets cold or acts up, I mean, my whole arm will hurt.
Oh my God.
So I'm just waiting on Medicaid.
Mine's my boxer's fracture. I think I refractured it because it's stupid ass. We have new neighbors and they don't know how to walk. So it's banging on the wall. I think I refractured it. But anyway, my bad. I didn't mean to.
No. You know, the thing is, if when people listen to me, they already know that the topic's going to change 20 million times. And I'll let people know why. Because you're only going to listen to me for about 10 minutes. So I got to mix it up.
Yeah.
But when we got two people, we can go for hours.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's why they have two people on radio shows. So that they can talk for longer and there's more entertainment and stuff. That's why they do that. But I grew up as a latchkey kid. And so my parents were too busy working. My dad had an extra job and my mom was drinking.
What's a
So
latchkey kid? What does that mean?
latchkey means you had a key to the house, usually around your neck.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Hi, Amber. Good to see you. One day you and Amber will meet. You two are going to love each other. The only reason I don't want you two to meet is because if you ganged up on me, I would lose, and we ain't having that.
You lose anyway. I don't.
I say, come on here and tell the truth.
Well,
A latchkey kid is just. I had a key to the house. You know how to break into your own house.
yeah.
So we had a lot of freedom. It was kind of an every man for yourself. But, and I'd like to qualify something first, and that would be, I may bring up my family and my parents, but I will let people know that I've moved past that and I've healed. So, people are people, and sometimes life is just life. But I think let's hear a little bit about you growing up and how that was different for you that we didn't really have. We already know, I'll let everybody know about the dad because that would be me. I was drinking. I did not want my daughter to be around me when I was drinking, and Kira and I have talked about that and we've worked through that too. So, but I don't want to speak for anyone. I can only speak for me. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it like for you?
Hmm. Uh, I
And
mean,
you were an only child.
I was about to say it was very lonely,
Yeah.
honestly, because I was an only child and didn't have many friends. I moved around a lot. I went
Hmm.
to 6 different elementary schools. Like, we
Hmm.
moved every single year, so I didn't have a chance to make any friends. I was kind of torn away from family for reasons that is between my mom and the family
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
anything long. So,
Absolutely.
she did her best to protect me, but you
Yes,
know,
you did.
she, not hating on her, but at the time she just didn't know how to be a mom. I was very, very much by myself. Um, it was lonely.
That's fair. I think it was, you know, it's like my brothers and sisters, they were much better like regulating their actions and stuff. But me, left to my own devices, I got into a lot of trouble growing up because, I just didn't know the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah.
And, bad attention was better than no attention. It was like the only attention I would get from my parents.
And that's, as a child, that's better than nothing. Like, if children are not getting the attention that they need, they'll start acting out so that way they get at least some sort of attention.
Absolutely. Because non action feels even worse, It's like, but I would kind of carry that into my teenage years and, my failure to grow up emotionally. I'm talking about me because, when you start drinking, if you're an alcoholic and you start drinking, that's the age that you stay until you get into recovery. So for a long time, I was 12, 13 years old, even while you were growing up. I mean, I was not emotionally mature at all,
Yeah.
you know. Um, I too moved around when, well, once, but this is what happened, when my parents put me in halfway houses, I was moving every 2 or 3 months because that's the way halfway houses work. Right? The money dried up there for me, so now they got to move me,
Right.
and I could never get anything consistent either. And so when it came to structure, discipline, man, I sucked. I was
Well,
not good
and
at it.
that's all you know. Like, when you don't have that structure or consistency, you don't know how to do that for yourself because you were never taught how to. It's
Yeah,
monkey see, monkey do.
yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah. I punched holes in the walls because that's what I was taught.
that's all you knew.
Well, and I look back and what I put him through. I don't know whether to call him dad, stepdad. I don't know, and I don't want to say his name here because, if I had to put up with me, fuck, man, I don't know. I might put me away too. But this was early '80s, and we didn't have the resources we have now.
Yeah.
Um, and Tough Love just came out, and I still think people don't quite understand Tough Love, or maybe it's opinionated. We talk about that a little bit. I do want to say real quick, please feel free to chat if we say something and it resonates, or you got something and you want to speak up. Please do that because we want to hear from it. You guys know me. It's an interactive,
Oh yeah.
so
I would.
or you could just sit back and listen, right? So. What are your thoughts on Tough Love? What do you think on that?
I think that tough love it's not necessarily tough love. It's just loving your children and having boundaries and making sure that
Hmm.
there's consequences for your actions.
Yeah,
That's not really tough love. That's parenting.
yeah, and I agree. It certainly is a type of parenting.
I think tough love is like, I guess in some aspects, it can definitely, be making the harder choice of
Okay,
like, I'm not going to put up with your bullshit. And if you keep doing it, then I'm going to have to make choices that you're
yeah,
not going to like, and I'm going to have to hold those boundaries.
yeah, And now you all know why my parents put me away, because I had crossed those boundaries. I did. I
Yeah.
did because I did what. Just imagine your kid doing whatever the fuck they wanted, even though you told them. You know, and you're right, because people would tell me, "Well, Dion, you're lying." I'm like, okay, well, then what? They're like, well, be honest. I'm like, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, they said, well, don't lie. I'm like, I don't understand anything that you're saying. It wasn't until somebody sat down and said, hey, you're doing this all wrong, Dion. I've always had the cart before the horse. And yeah. Amber's saying, I've been stashing Christmas presents since August. I'm sorting them, making a list, and right. She likes to give me updates. So,
I love it. I haven't even gotten Christmas presents yet.
everybody's getting a nice I love you from me, because that's all the money we have.
Fine with me.
Yeah,
Honestly, the kids don't need any more toys or clothes or anything. So,
I'm finding that my kids and my grandkids, if anything, they want from me, it's time. They want my time. They want my attention. It isn't buying gifts and all those other things,
Go lay down.
because my grandkids have grandparents. You talking to your dog?
Yeah, she's in trouble because she keeps pissing on the fucking floor.
Yeah, consequences of your actions, dog.
So she doesn't get to be on the bed today. She had a
I like that little headbutt.
side quest real quick. She had a UTI. I had this weird feeling a couple of weeks ago. I just had this weird feeling that she wasn't feeling good, and I was like, I wonder if she has like a UTI. And then the next day she started acting weird. I was like, knew it. So she's been on these meds and everything, and because of the UTI, she was peeing in the house. Couldn't get mad at her for that, but now it's like, now she thinks it's fucking okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
She's in trouble.
I actually understand that, because, and here we got to continue with the conversation. Aaron says, I grab shit that screens people from clearance or Bronco game free shit all year long. Yeah. See, she has season tickets to the Broncos, so she can go and get these stuff. And since, yeah. Amber's also a Virgo. Oh, you'll love this, honey.
We're going to get along very well. What is that?
That's my 8-year chip that she made for me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I also want to say I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I can't believe it's been 8 years.
Either.
Like yesterday, we were in the townhouse.
Whew. Yeah, Shannon posted that video where, and if you guys are friends with my wife, she posted a video. She doesn't post much, so just go to her page and scroll. And go about 2 minutes into the video, and you'll see me hit Kira, but I don't actually touch her. But it looks like she goes like 10 feet.
You barely even hit me. It was because I was trying to like get away from you.
It was.
And at the same time, you barely hit me with that pillow, but in the video, it looks like you just fucking like smacked the shit out of me.
It was made of bricks.
I will forever remember that day. That was so funny.
Well, because people a lot of times they say, even my worst day sober is better than my best day drinking. And, when I have memories like that, I don't know that, I need more, so we're kind of the same way. So yeah, when it comes to Christmas, I find that, time, spending time. My grandkids love me. I don't have shit for money.
Oh yeah.
But it's because I'm entertaining, and I love the hell out of them. Well, and they know that.
Yeah. Well, we also teach them, and I've ingrained into their head that Christmas and like Thanksgiving, like all these holidays, I've ingrained into their heads that it's not about the presents. It's about spending time with family.
Yeah.
And whenever they get excited for holidays and stuff, they're like, you know what I'm so excited for? I'm excited to spend time with family. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Love it.
Doing
Good
something
job.
right.
You know what? That leads to pains of growth. It does. But let's talk a little bit about.
Haven't we all though?
Yeah, huh? Yeah, you're reading your stuff, huh? I've had some pretty dope ass days drinking or drugging. Me too. You know,
Those were the
and
crazy days.
I've had just as good days sober. I absolutely agree.
At least we can remember them now.
Yeah, now we can remember our days. Right? I don't remember what we were going to talk about.
We were talking about Christmas and being appreciative of family instead of
Yeah,
presents.
and it was moving into something else, but I don't remember. It's all right. It's not a big deal. Um, so as we grow up, I mean, now I understand, younger, there was, skipping, things like that. But I've also found that as I got older, I'm not old
Yet.
yet, we're getting there. Well, my next birthday, I qualify for ARP. So
Just don't think about it.
I get my senior discounts in a year. Oh, no, that's fine with me, man. Cheapen that stuff. Make my bread 20 cents.
Go to IHOP all the time.
It works. But what happens when we get a little bit older, find that we might be acting a little immature? That's what it was. We were going to break generational cycles. I knew if I talked long enough, it would come back. So you broke a generational cycle there, because I know the families very much about gift giving and stuff. Not that, and that's okay. They're, because my family's kind of the same way too. But it's kind of like this. I grew up and found out there wasn't a Santa Claus, right? And then found out that everybody's Santa Claus. It's about the joy. It's about being together. So, gosh, it shouldn't be this hard to get together and be going at each other's throats, So when I say breaking generational cycles, there's some things you can't break, but like anger, compassion for other people, holding space, all these different things. Because I will let you, and I'm going to tell you that I'm proud of you also, because you've done a very good job raising those girls. I mean, like, I'm going to take them we're going to have them for 2-3 days. I'll be working, but I'm not worried about it. Because they're really good at that. So
They can take care of themselves. I've made sure that they're independent. If you got something to do, they're good. What was the other thing? Oh, I don't know if I told you this, but this kind of goes hand in hand of what we're talking about, like breaking generational curses. So I know for kids, like, it's kind of confusing for them to try and stand up for themselves without being mean and have boundaries and be kind all in the same,
Yeah.
and do it all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been some stuff going on because Bree's kids, they all go to school together. And
Okay.
so Charlie told Allie that she's not sitting with her at lunch unless she has like home lunch or school lunch, whichever it was. She was just being kind of mean.
Okay.
And so because of that, Charlie one day comes up to Allie and says, "Hey, can I sit with you?" And Allie says, "No, thank you."
Oh,
Allie told me that, and I gave her a high five. I was like, "See, that is, you said that." I was so fucking proud of her for that. I was like, "You were kind. You didn't say anything mean, but you held your boundary that you didn't want to sit with her. You didn't have to be mean about it. You just said no, thank you." I was like, "I am so proud of you."
I'm
So
really proud of her, because she's not extroverted and stuff like we are. I mean, we're shy, but we're a little bit. So I mean, Khaleesi, no problem. She wouldn't have been as nice though.
God.
That so I'm very proud of her. Yeah.
She's gonna give me gray hairs.
Yeah. Well, it's not surprising. I got picked on at school. Shay got picked on at school. You got picked on at school. They're gonna deal. We have things going on. We have to wear glasses and things like that. But it's more than that. It really is more than that. Every single person I just named off has a deep empathy,
And
and you can see it.
I see that in Allie. I really do. I
Yeah,
see that deep like connection, that deep emotion that she has.
yeah.
And she doesn't always say anything. She doesn't say anything right away.
Okay.
But then she will come out a little bit later and talk about it.
Yeah.
Like for her birthday, like her birthday party, none of the family showed up. The only person that showed up was Papa.
Yeah.
And that was hurtful. And like a couple of her friends from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I knew that it hurt her, but she didn't say anything. Like she didn't want to, sit here and cry in front of her friends and shit. But I knew that it hurt her.
She didn't want to be rude to her friend. That's how she is.
Yeah.
She is.
So,
but good job on showing her some healthy boundaries, because I know when I was like that, people took advantage of me because I was very forgiving and I gave people a lot of chances. Now you're lucky you get a second one, but that's going to another extreme.
yep.
That's all that is.
Yeah. And after that, this is like last week, I think she had said that, what did she say? Oh, she had said that Charlie told her that she doesn't want to talk to her anymore because she doesn't want to fight about the whole sitting situation. And then all of a sudden they're like talking again. I was like, girlfriend, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I know that it's family, but you should not allow that to happen.
Yeah.
You need to have those boundaries. And if she's going to treat you like that, you don't deserve that.
Yeah.
Go find some other friends. I don't give a shit if she's your family.
Yeah.
If she's
Grandpa be your friend.
if
I feel really
shit, then move on. I know it sucks, but don't let that happen.
Yeah.
She's figuring it out, but she's doing a great job.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. My 5th grade birthday party, one person showed up for about 20 minutes, and I invited my whole class. But because of who I am and all the moving, nobody showed up, and I did not have another birthday party. I just didn't want them anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start moving. Maybe not necessarily like birthday parties. Maybe we'll just like invite a few of her friends over and do like a sleepover or something like that. Cause she's 9. Like,
yeah,
maybe we can do something like that next year.
Yeah, I think that would probably be better. I find, and God bless family, but sometimes I find, this is literally what I'm tired of hearing. And not just in our family, but it does happen. Oh, that person can't come because people don't like them. I'm in that situation a lot because of who I was. I'm paying a price for somebody that I was, and I get that, and I can accept it. But then when I hear my granddaughter, I get a little mad.
Oh, I'm pissed. I'm not going to Thanksgiving. I didn't go to Logan's party. I'm pissed. My nanny's pissed. My papa, he doesn't say shit, and he's about to because he's pissed.
Ooh, yeah. I would not want to be around Papa going off.
That he's a quiet one.
Oh, I know.
I don't want to be on his.
I spent plenty of time with Papa and Nana. I stuck around longer because I loved Papa and Nana. That was one of the main reasons I was around for as long as I was.
Oh, Nana's a fucking gangster. I love her so much. She's my second mama. I love her to death.
Yep.
But I think
I called her for years, even after. She's easy to talk to.
She really is, and she's understanding.
And she keeps her mouth shut.
She does. She always knows the right things to say.
Yeah, she's always been wise.
Oh, always. I've been talking to her the past couple of days about some stuff I'm going through, and she's definitely put a perspective in my head. I'm like, you're right, Nana. I'm like, I'm glad I texted you because I needed your wisdom for sure.
Yeah. So
But
what?
I think all of this, because we're talking about childhood,
Okay.
and it pisses me off the way that other people raise their children. I'm 26 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I am raising my children to be respectful, responsible, and good people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard thing to do.
Really, it's the harder thing to do.
I don't want to see my kids cry.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be in trouble. I don't want them to be mad at me. I don't want to be the bad guy. But you know what? We get compliments on the way that they act all the time. Your kids are so respectful.
They're great kids.
Kids are-
Wait till they're teenagers. You're going to run rampant, aren't you? Get it?
No, that's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I'm gaining their trust and doing what I am. I'm trying because I'm scared for the teenager.
You're not trying. You are doing. No try.
I'm still scared though because,
There is no try. There's only do.
I am doing. You are right on that. But
That's
I think
what
because
you've done a great job. So even then, there's success there, honey.
yeah, I got to give myself more credit sometimes.
We're both that way. Yeah.
I'm too hard on myself. I feel like a piece of shit a lot.
I get that. I understand that.
But
I've never thought that. Never. I've always been proud of you.
Thank you.
You
I've fucked up a lot.
you know, I can't give you shit about it because I fucked up more than you did. I got expelled from my school district. You know, that reminds me, you know, and because we were talking about tough love and the consequences, right? Yeah. So the thing was the consequences were a little different back in the 70s and 80s. If I ditched school, right, I'd get detention, which I didn't go to.
I wouldn't either.
You're gonna make me? Good luck on that.
I think I went to detention.
I'll call the cat. Yeah. See, I was one of those. Like, well, I didn't have any friends. It's like I'm not going to show up to that. There were no real consequences for me. Grounded. I don't have any friends. It meant nothing to me. But the consequence for skipping school was suspension.
Which is exactly what you wanted.
There we go. Thanks. And that's what I thought. I'm like, oh, well, what's wrong with these consequences? So when I got 14 and the real consequence happened. Go ahead. What were you saying, baby?
No. I was agreeing with you. I was saying that's exactly what you wanted to happen because you didn't want to be in school.
Yeah.
I think
that's right.
Suspension is one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard of.
Yeah. Now, when it became in-house suspension, I changed.
Yeah, I still get to sit here and do absolutely fuck all.
No.
Cool.
Well, I was a latchkey kid. That means you were all at school and I had the run of the neighborhood.
Yep.
And what I would do, and I terrorized the neighborhood. So VCRs just came out. Okay. And what people loved to do was record while they were away at work. It was the new thing. Okay. And it was exciting because when it came to TV, if you weren't glued to it and you missed it, it was over with. You would have to wait till the rerun.
Oh, I remember.
But the way it worked is you used to have to pull this thing out, right? And you'd have to figure out UHF, VHF, set the channels. But the important part was the clock. Because if the clock was not set to the right time, it would not record your show. And I charged $5 for setting up your VCR because they didn't know how to do it.
You told me about this. You were hustling.
So while I was suspended from school,
you're out here making money.
Turn off your power while you were at work. So you'd call me when you got home and I'd make some money. Yeah. Do you know how felony that is? going in someone's backyard, opening their electrical box and turning off their power. Yeah, that's very illegal.
Is there a law against it?
Yeah, it's called trespassing and breaking and entering.
Well, I mean, no face, no case.
Right. We didn't have Ring back then. We didn't have internet. Sorry, Charlie. Sorry, Charlie.
It's all hearsay.
Right. And hearsay is the worst evidence ever.
That's so
No
funny.
visual proof.
We were both hellions.
Yeah.
I was definitely a sweet kid, younger. And then I grew into my teenage years and I became a little fucking asshole.
Yeah.
The
Kids are-
amount of times that, like, there was no trust there, though.
Yeah.
Not between me and you, but, like, between me and my mom. And so I
There
figured,
wasn't any trust between you and me either, honey.
I know.
I know. I wish I could change back time too. And we'll give it a second. You're okay. There you go. Good job. Good job. What's neat about all that, because it's hard to take some of the stuff that's been bad in the past and, you know, that, you know,
Come
what-
to terms with.
it is. It is.
That's why I'm in therapy.
Mm-hmm. Yay. It's good. You know, we gotta work through that.
I know.
trauma.
There was no trust there, as, like, I learned through my childhood. I grew up on manipulation. I grew up on lies.
Yeah.
I literally had to teach myself how to not emotionally manipulate people because that's all I did.
Yeah. You were taught that.
So as a teenager, yeah, I was gonna fucking lie. Because at this point, you're not gonna tell me what the fuck to do. Because it's back and forth. 1 minute it's this thing, you expect it this way, and then it changes the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, there were times that I would have, like, friends over or something, and there was one time where I was wanting to smoke hookah, like the little hookah.
Yep.
Had, like, a little, like, hookah thing.
Uh-huh.
And at first my mom was like, I was like fucking like 15, 16.
Okay.
And she was like, yeah, that's cool. And then the next day it was like, no, you can't fucking do that. Don't smoke in my fucking house. Like, you have to be home from school at literally 4 p.m. If I was 1 minute late, oh my fucking God. I remember sitting in the kitchen getting a lecture from her. It was 3 hours. And that's not an exaggeration.
No, it's not.
It was 3 hours, and I said absolutely nothing. I sat there and listened to her for 3 hours. So it's shit like that. Like, no wonder I was a fucking hellion as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to my mom, because I forgive her.
Sure.
But yeah, I was a fucking hellion. I didn't care. I didn't care.
Well, why should you?
What's there to
Yeah, there was. I mean, what was there to fucking care for? You know, and you know, because I'm not going to sit here and say anything bad about your mother. I won't say that. I won't do that because that's your mother, and that would be disrespectful. But you know, there was nobody you could fucking rely on, nobody you could trust, nobody to go to, nobody for guidance.
I had no.
That's fucking hard.
I had no one. And so I relied on my friends, and I relied on myself, and I had to raise myself teach myself the right way.
Yeah.
And that is exactly why I got into the relationships that I did. But at this point, I'm okay with it because I got 2 very beautiful girls out of it.
Yes, we do.
Okay, on a funny note.
I got a beautiful girl through it too.
On a funny note, I was really going through it yesterday. Like, I was like breaking down, like boohoo crying. And Allie came in here into the room and like hugged me, and I was like, will you grab me like a wad of tissue? This little girl goes out. I was like, I thought she was gonna go to my bathroom, and I was like, where is she going? She comes back with a whole roll of fucking toilet paper.
It's like, this is how much I love you, Mom.
I thought it was the funniest shit ever.
Yep.
She's like,
that is funny. She's like, you're gonna need this.
Yeah.
You need a trash can. I can go get you a bag. Do you need a bag?
She was, I started laughing, and she was like, well, at least I got a smile out of you. She was like, I don't know what a wad means, so I just got to roll. I was like,
you know what a wad of toilet paper is. Yeah.
It's just like a handful. It was the first time I had like smiled yesterday.
I don't know if you saw this, but yeah, I like to read these. I did therapy because lack of trust and guidance for my parents. Fucking thank you for sharing here. And absolutely, Amber. I'm glad you're here. And you know, I think Kira and I have kind of got to the point in our relationship where, yeah, it's hard to talk about these things, but I find that every time we do talk about them, we get a little bit closer, and our relationship has become really strong. You know, where we used to avoid kind of hard conversations, now we're like, okay, let's get this one over with.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm proud of us. This wasn't easy to do. It wasn't. To come back and say, you know, we fucked up. Let's do this again. Let's try it again. You know.
And also, despite anybody else's opinion about it.
It's the hard part. It is. And a lot of people have a lot of opinions about me. It's just how it is. And they're two extremes. It's never just, you know, he's a normal guy just trying to get by in life, which is all I am. So.
I need to mute myself really quickly. Give me 1 second.
Not a problem. Not a problem. All right. When you look back up, I'll unmute it. So yeah, the pains of growing up. I'm gonna go forward a little bit as we're adults and starting to create these boundaries. You know, it's really hard to create boundaries on family, and Amber was just talking about it too. That you know. Yeah, you know, I've forgiven, but it still fucking hurts. I mean, not like it used to. My PTSD used to make me feel like I was right there and it was going on at that moment, but that doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, it's hard to forgive when I don't forget. You know, and what's the saying? First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me, because I'm allowing that to happen again. And creating those strong boundaries. A great way to start working on boundaries is therapy. Therapy is probably the best way that I know to create boundaries. Because the reason that I say that is because you can't really start to apply boundaries unless you know who you are. Like, well, where is that boundary if I don't know my limitations, right? If I don't understand my triggers, if I don't start taking responsibility for these things, then I can't create those boundaries, right? What are some of the things you think you do to create those healthy, strong boundaries?
Wait, was that a question? I'm sorry.
That was a question.
Can you repeat it? Because it sounded like a statement. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the way I said it was weird. What are some of the things that you've been doing to help create strong, healthy boundaries? It's a tough question. It is, because there's a lot to it.
I think learning myself was like I had to learn myself to learn what those boundaries are. And really like self-introspection, like self-awareness, and
Yeah.
kind of owning up to my own shit first.
There it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Everything you just said. Absolutely.
So, for example, like I have been in a deep depression, not deep depression in a sense of like laying in bed depression, but just like not taking care of myself for a long time because of past relationships and whatnot. And once I got out of my work from home job, once I got fired, it was coming. I was either going to quit or I was going to get fired. But, you know, coming out of my shell and actually getting back out into the world instead of being closed in to four walls, you know, getting back into cleaning houses and stuff like that, it's really given me that motivation. So now with the house, it's very like, I just need it fucking clean. Like it's like it helps my mental health, but at the same time, I'm also like expecting everybody else in the house to do the same thing I am. And I thought that was okay. So.
And then you talk to your therapist about it.
I talked to my therapist. And it was really funny because she's cool as fuck. I'm so grateful that it was like a one and done. I didn't have to go through a bunch of therapists. I'm very grateful for that. But she was not trying to be mean. She was like, okay, so like it seems like you're just kind of like trying to like control the situation. Like she was just, you know, being the therapist. And I was like, after we got off, I was like, what the fuck? I just got called the fuck out by my therapist, and she wasn't even necessarily calling me out. She basically calling me controlling, and I was like, damn it.
And you agreed to it.
I did. I was like, you caught me into this. But it helped because it's like she helped me realize that because of my past and the people that I was with, the messiness of the house is probably a trigger for me, because it probably reminds me of being, and I didn't realize that, because CPTSD, it's an emotional thing. It's not.
That's why the C is in front of it, because the complex brings those emotions.
Right. And so I actually went back to, because I'm always on Montana, like, hey, can you clean this up? Please clean this up. Like, you can't even pick up your fucking towel off the floor. You know, just being fucking nitpicky. And
I'll remember we're Virgo too.
Well, all three of us. Oh, shit.
It's kind of a Virgo thing. Because if I walk through my house and everything's cluttered, then everything is.
Then my mind's cluttered. But at the same time, I can't put that expectation on everybody else in the house. I can for the kids, because I am trying to teach them how to be responsible and clean up their stuff without me asking. As for Montana, it is ridiculous for me to put that expectation onto him.
Yeah.
So I actually, after that conversation and realizing that, I went to Montana. I was like, I am sorry. I was like, I had a conversation with my therapist and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, huh, weird. Huh, we're all saying the same shit. And I was like, okay, you don't gotta say it like that. Like, but it's
She said her husband literally put a fucking towel next to the damn basket yesterday. I'm like, why?
it's a man thing. It's
You're,
literally
no, you watch that. No, it's not a man thing.
yes, it is.
No, you go look where my towels are. And I'm a man.
Well, man, I'm just kidding.
In our house, Shannon's the
No, it's
the
because
buttery
you
one. I'm the
learned.
clean one. Now that she isn't clean. No, I get it. But
She has trained you well.
fuck. No, it's not even that.
Us women gotta train you, man. I swear.
Let's see. Every time you did come to my house, it was spotless, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Your
No.
guys' house have always been pretty clean.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, you're usually right. So my mom gave me a piece of advice when it came to this because the kids would just not do the fucking dishes like I wanted.
I am so sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm really
Yeah.
sorry.
Don't worry about it. No. And I was on vacation with grandma. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Let's cover that real quick, right? Because she said, well, my therapist, because she went through the same thing and Scott kind of called her out and stuff, right? We don't listen to the people we love the most first. We don't do that. It has to come from a different source. That's why we find it hard because they're too emotionally involved. And that includes me, and we want to help, but, because I don't know how many times Shannon said to me, I told you that all the time. I'm like, I know, and I wasn't listening to you. I know. But I did finally at least get it, But the people that are closest to us are usually the ones that can provide the least amount of help, unless it has to do with holding space for each other, listening, things like that. So I know for me, I noticed that when I started getting healthier, like when I got sober, everybody in my family, I will never work with my spouse, ever.
That's me in Montana too. Like we've talked to we've talked about we both want to have our own businesses and stuff like that. And I've kind of brought up well, maybe we can start one together. And he's like, there's no fucking way I can work with you.
Yeah, it takes
respectfully. I was like, honestly, thinking about it, I completely agree.
Yeah. So Amber, good on you and Scott for working. Some couples can do that. They can. And that's awesome. I think that's awesome. However, no, she would kill me. She'd kill me because I'm real bossy. I'm really bossy.
She is too. She's just silent about it.
Not anymore. Not anymore. But
go Shannon.
I kind of noticed that, when I did get sober and got into recovery, my family still didn't want to be around me. And I thought it was just for a different reason.
Before you got sober.
I'm sorry?
They're stuck on the person that they knew before you were sober.
Mm-hmm. And that's true. There's my mom is about the only person that knows the new Dion in the family. So yeah. Yeah, but you guys are working. Yeah, you guys are on several things together. I think that's awesome. I'm not sure what else to cover at this point, and Kira's on her phone, so I think we probably go ahead and wrap it up. We're at 50 minutes. I didn't even notice that. So I think that's great. So yeah, you know, I don't even know that we really covered the pains of growth, but gosh, I feel like we had a pretty good conversation, and you know, um, Amber got something out of it. A lot of times, this is just coming on here and letting other people know that, hey, you're not alone. You're not alone. We all kind of go through these things, and so what can we do to improve that? What can we do to improve our lives, to improve the lives of others? And I'm really on this breaking generational curses right now. I'm watching all my kids do it. My oldest, Heather, she's got a boy and a girl, great kids, breaking that generational cycle of anger, things like that. My son and my and my stepdaughter are married. Hi, Ingrid. It's good to see you. We're just kind of wrapping up, but it's always good to see you, honey. Um, they've made a lot of progress with their son, who was a lot like me when I was growing up. Especially around the anger, and then of course with you, and
Me?
with your kids. It's talking about breaking those generational cycles. So I was wrapping us up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, we're at 50 minutes right now.
Well,
Yeah,
we could go longer if you want.
we could. How about this? You talk, I will go pee.
I don't know what to talk about. Don't leave me like this. Dad, don't leave. Damn it. I don't know what to talk about. I'm not used to this. What were
There's,
you
there's that fear of abandonment.
Okay, what?
I'm sorry, I was trying to give you crap. It failed. I apologize.
It was a true joke. I could take a joke.
Okay.
All right, so what were you talking about before? Because I was not, I was on the phone.
Breaking generational cycles.
Repeat generational cycles?
No, breaking them.
Oh.
Like how my dad was angry and then I was angry, but we stopped it there. And the anger doesn't need to continue on.
I don't know if we stopped it there.
No, I'm just giving you an example.
Oh.
So like with you teaching your kids, because nobody taught me how to handle bullies. Nobody taught you how to handle bullies.
Right.
But you're teaching your kids how to handle bullies.
Right.
And you still have to be respectful.
Right.
That's kind of what I was talking about.
Okay.
Let's talk about let's talk about I'm 54 and that's what I had. Wait till you get older. I don't know. You'd have to ask.
I mean, I still have pregnancy bladder.
Yeah.
I pee myself when I cough.
He won't be able to focus if you don't let him go pee. She's right.
Okay, I got it. I got it now.
Okay.
I just didn't know what you were
All right. Help her out, Amber.
Help! Help Tom Cruise! What movie is that? Help Tom Cruise! Help Oprah Winfrey! Yeah, generational curses for sure. This is new to me. Not used to being here by myself, okay? I am definitely trying to break them because I've been through a lot. So my dad taught me to use fists. We're teaching. Is it Isaac? Is that how you pronounce that? Isaac? Just like spelled differently? Yeah, I mean, old school. Yeah, I have two of them. I definitely, I cough and I pee myself. I laugh too hard and I pee myself. But generational curses, I'm definitely doing things differently. But also realizing that I am the exact same person as my mother sometimes, with certain things, not everything.
Sure.
Like the controlling thing. When my therapist said that,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, damn it. And then I started thinking
Once
about
we
it more.
realize it, but then we can do something about it. And there's
Right.
nothing wrong with being human.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
Isaac.
spell that. Isaac. I like that. But yeah, so the whole like controlling thing, like that's monkey see, monkey do. That's how my mom has always fucking been.
Okay.
And then when I started getting older, I was pretty much telling her to like fuck off, like stop telling me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then after all that shit happened with Noah and kids and whatnot, I had to move back in with her. And I'm over the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
I can make my own decisions, like
Yeah, I
whatever.
remember this part. Yeah.
She still was just fucking nitpicky. But you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't just let Allie cry like that. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Just hold her? Like there's a lot of things that went on, and I love my mom to death, but I will never be able to live with her. It was just a lot. And so I was thinking about that stuff, and I was like, damn, I'm kind of in my mom's position right now. Like, I'm sitting here every single fucking day getting pissed off about the stupidest shit. If I want it done, then I should just fucking do it. And it's a lot on me. It's a lot to sit here and go to work and kids and dinner and laundry and this and fucking it's a lot. But if he doesn't care about it, then that's him.
Yeah.
And if I can't accept that, then that's on me. And that's really hard to accept because I really just would like some fucking help around the house.
I think it's priorities, because men tend to have different priorities than women. Well, and it depends on who it is. My priority is making sure the house is nice because Shannon's the breadwinner. So therefore, that means it's kind of, if she cooks, I do the dishes. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to live with my mom either. Yeah, but yeah, accepting what their priorities might be. Something might be. Yeah, she's just pulling out AA here.
I know.
Yeah. Grant me the courage to change the things I can, and there's really only one thing I can change.
I love that saying though. It doesn't even. Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you for 1 second, but this is just me personally. I fucking hate AA because I went to NA as a teenager. Like I fucking hate it. But the Serenity Prayer is like chef's kiss. I fucking love it. And sometimes I sit here and tell it to myself to help me get through shit. Anyway, you were saying.
I wasn't really saying anything. Once I go, I just.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks that you had some bad experiences. But did you say you went to NA? Or you went to NA?
Oh, Alateen, not NA.
Oh, Alateen. Oh, yeah. Well, you hated it because you were being forced.
Yeah, I was being
fucked. No wonder you didn't like it.
And how do you feel about that? I don't know. I don't like my dad fucking drinking. I don't know what the fuck else do you want me to say?
Yeah, Alateen. Yeah, I'm sorry you experienced that.
It's okay. Me and Megan fucking hated that shit.
It's not the same. And I was hoping, I know they're all invading our meetings. He sucks dick.
There would be times that people would be talking and me and Megan would just look at each other like, fuck this.
I know. Yeah.
I know Shannon was just trying to help, but it did not.
Absolutely. Well, what you have is you have an Al-Anon with control problems. It doesn't,
I'm working on
Alateen used to be different. No, Alateen used to be really cool. And I was even drinking because I go to AA with my mom because I wanted her to stay sober and nobody in the house was supporting her. So I went with her because I didn't want my mom to go back to drinking, and I went to Alateen. I enjoyed it. I actually liked it,
Yeah.
and only because I didn't really have many friends, and there were people that understood me there. And there was a really cute girl that used to make out with me after. But
That's the only
what
reason.
Alateen did for me is it kept me away from hard drugs.
Yeah.
It did. It did say so. Where and see how that experience is different because I wasn't forced to go. I just went because I wanted to support my mom.
Yeah.
But if you're forced, I know what it's like being forced into things. I don't want to do them either. So yeah, no wonder. No wonder.
Yeah. I mean, my mom and Jeremy still think that I have ODD, like oppositional defiance disorder. And that makes sense because if anyone tries to tell me what the fuck to do, I don't want to do it. So being forced to go to some sort of fucking meeting that I don't want to go to that isn't helping, yeah. Fuck that.
I'm not big on people qualifying other people in mental illnesses, especially when they're sick themselves. So,
Yeah, no, they're not trying to put a label on me at all. It's just something that they noticed because I don't think I have oppositional defiance disorder. I think it's just the fact that like you're just not gonna tell me what the fuck to do. Like if I truly had that, then I feel like it would be anything and everything anybody said to me that I would have a problem with.
yeah, and then you just revert to that. Well, I have ODD, and then what that's going to do is, well, I'm just that way, which means you never change.
I don't think I'd be able to self-reflect and be like, okay, you know what, you're probably right. I wouldn't be able to self-reflect, and I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, it's kind of like everybody has ADHD now, and before those words came out, you didn't say that. But the reason I bring that up is because we have to be careful. Because if I continue to say I have ADHD, do you know what you'll have? ADHD.
Because your words mean everything.
Yes, they do.
They literally make
your been diagnosed. You don't have ADHD. You don't. Because you cannot diagnose. About the only disease I know of that you can diagnose yourself is addiction.
Yeah.
And you do need to diagnose yourself on that or it doesn't work. So
yeah. Well, most people are in denial about it for good reason. Who wants to sit here and say that they're an addict? That's a hard thing to come to terms with.
It is. Yeah.
And that comes from like they say that this is one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard. They like years ago they were saying that weed was the like gateway drug. And it's not. Trauma is the fucking gateway drug.
Ding, 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 ding.
It is trauma.
What's the show where the girl makes her? I think Chris Rock is in it. Is it called Friday? No, not that one.
No, that's a movie.
But he has to go to NA because of his marijuana addiction. And Bob Saget's in, and this is why I'm not safe for kids. And he's all up there. Did you ever suck dick to smoke weed?
Is that a movie or is it a show?
No, it's a movie. I forget the name of it. I'll find out and let you know.
That's got to be like a 90s movie because they would nowadays.
A lot of people listen to me and I'm going to tell you. So here's the thing about addiction. You have two types of addiction. Physical and mental. Most of them are both. In fact, almost all of them are both, except for marijuana. It is mentally addictive. It is not physically addictive. So you can't be addicted to marijuana, but you can be addicted to the effects and things like that. But it's all up here. But you do not withdraw from marijuana.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So it's not like the like withdrawals from like pills or alcohol. You don't get like the shakes or, like getting really hot or anything like that, like cold sweats or anything. You get extremely irritable. And I've seen this because
that's That is a mental thing, not a physical thing. Irritability is a feeling.
Okay, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
But you don't go through it. I'm not saying it isn't as powerful, because it can be. You bet it is.
Half Baked.
Oh, Half Baked, that's what it is.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. I'm watching that tonight.
Yeah, marijuana is just not something I am that concerned about. When we got fentanyl sitting, crack, and MDM and all this other, fentanyl scares the fuck out of me.
Oh, I know.
So
I had to go to, I think it was back in it was when I was with Daniel, so it was like 2019 or 2020 or something like that. I'd gone to the hospital because I was having pains in my kidney from time to time, and it just got.
just keep going. I just like to put this stuff up.
Well, it wasn't I'm really prone to UTIs, very prone to them. And I was getting these weird pains in right below my ribs on the left side, where your kidneys are, but it wasn't a constant pain. So this went on for about a month, and I ended up going to the hospital for something, and I almost went septic. They told me if I didn't come in, I would have gone septic within another day or two. And they said that they were giving me fentanyl, and I freaked out. Not freaked out, but I was I don't. Yeah. And they reassured me. They're like, we're professionals. We're not going to give you too much.
Absolutely.
But that shit scares the absolute hell out of me.
Just the word of it. Yeah. So I do want to touch on this because Ingrid's mom, I love Ingrid. She is sister. They diagnosed with ADD, autism, and to be fair, their diagnostician agreed about the autism after hearing me say a few things to my kid about just wear your human mask. Yeah. Kidney event. See, everybody's just kind of agreeing with this. And I want to clarify a few things. A lot of things I'm saying here are opinionated. Okay. And I'm not right about everything. I'm certainly not. Mm-hmm. Now, Ingrid's agreeing with me, and thank you on that diagnosis. It's scary. It's scary, though. If you're being told that you have a mental illness, especially when you're kind of young, that could be kind of scary. But the part is, I see a lot of people, they say they're ADHD, and they are not. And so we can't jump on this mental illness bandwagon when everybody's like, oh, I'm sober. That's great, but you're fucking things up for people in recovery, where it's life or death for me. For you, it's an inconvenience.
Right.
But for me, no, I will fuck the whole world. I will burn my community to the fucking ground. And it's different. So that's why I get a little, it's a thin line we're walking there.
Yeah, no, I agree, because I thought for the longest time, I've definitely truly thought that I've had ADD or ADHD, and I don't think I do. I think it's the trauma from childhood and the inconsistency, and my brain is scattered because of that.
Yeah, and fear.
Oh yeah.
Fear that I may not become what I need to be. Fear that I'm not being the right father or dad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm realizing a lot of that through therapy right now.
And see, I knew Ingrid was on the right track because she said ADD, and ADHD and ADD are the same thing. It's just
pretty much.
It's Samson's newfangled words.
Yeah, they
change their words every now and again.
Yeah, it used to be different. It used to be ADD and ADHD, but in the past, it was fucking years ago, but they basically said that it's the same thing.
It is. Yeah. They changed it in what's called the DSM.
Oh, I don't know
which is the guide for, all the clinical mental health stuff.
Yeah.
What they call it. Just like, for a long time, NADAC and SAMHSA called it alcoholism. Now they call it alcohol use disorder. And the only good they've done, Well, no, they changed the name. I went to work at Detox. You need to say AUD, and I said, well, you need to suck a dick. I didn't say it that way, but
that's like changing. Like, what did they change UFOs to? Like,
yeah.
what did they change that to?
What they changed what to what?
UFOs, unidentified flying object. They changed it to something else, and I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, who knows? People, well, it's just like, everybody's running around labeling themselves, determining their own worth, and they don't even know what they're doing in their life. I mean, everybody's just running around wanting to fucking be a part of, to have some encouragement. And we will desperately go out of our way to do that. So
it's the same thing. So attention deficit disorder is a hyperactivity of your brain.
Yeah. And I'm inclined to agree with what Ingrid's saying, because she knows a little bit more about that than me. But I think what we were saying is we got to stop mixing. You can't be all of these. I have 4 mental illnesses, and when my therapist at the time said, "Do you think you have ADHD?" and I said, "Well, if you add all these up, what do you think I have? ADHD. I mean, it's included in there, right?" I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get diagnosed because I want to see if I am, because I do not do meds unless I'm diagnosed.
Yeah.
But I would call and say, I need to get a diagnosis. Oh, we can give you Adderall now. That's my problem.
No, they just want to mask it.
They know my name. They know nothing about me, and they're ready to hand me drugs.
That's the problem with the pharmaceutical industry, and that's why I'm so against it. Like, if it truly, like, if it's like the last option and it truly does help you, absolutely do it.
Yeah.
Like, if it does. But here's the thing is, a lot of times, especially with ADHD, they sit here and have kids on fucking Adderall and Ritalin at 6 years old. No, they're just a kid. They are hyperactive. They're not hyperactive. They're hyper because they're a kid.
Yeah.
And there's ways to work through a lot of these mental illnesses. There's ways to work through depression. There's ways to work through anxiety. There's ways to work through panic attacks. I have been going through all of that for a long time, and I have figured out ways to help it because I refuse to do pills.
Yeah.
Refuse. Even with ADHD, it's an ADHD. People with ADHD, they just need, they need order.
Regulatory. It's a regulatory thing.
Yes. Yep.
And it's just because I need to focus, things like that. Sometimes, I just need to slow down a little bit. Like if I'm walking around, I run into a door.
That's how you
do too fast. That's my indicator that I need to slow down a little bit.
Yep.
And then guess what? It goes, what? And that's just me regulating.
Just stop, breathe, calm down, tell yourself it's going to be okay.
Another good one is jumping. Just jump up and down for about 10 seconds. That'll help.
Because it gets all like the energy out, Yeah. Yeah,
I do a lot of stimming.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I've been trying to help Montana with that because he does have ADHD.
Does he? Okay.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like severely. And, when I thought that I had ADD or whatever, I would always lose stuff and like all the shit that he's doing. And I'm like, I'm trying to teach you, just put all of your shit in the same exact place. There's a specific place for everything. And
that's another Virgo thing.
Huh?
It's a Virgo thing too.
I'm just trying to help. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's like my keys are in the same place. My wallet goes in the same place.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. He's calling me. He's coming home.
I'm going to wrap us up. We're at 1 hour and 15 minutes. So, and that's a good run. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put her on mute. Oh, okay. And then I'm going to unmute you.
Okay.
Let's see what Ingrid has to say here, and then we will wrap up. No way. My youngest was misdiagnosed with ADHD at 6. and the meds were just speed. He was dusting the house at midnight, but after several years was correctly diagnosed with autism. Thank God you figured that out. No meds needed, just help at school with organization and school skill. Yay.
Did you guys know that Adderall is actually only one molecule away from being the same thing as meth?
What? Yeah, not surprising.
Yes.
The government, let me tell you something about health, and it's big business. And if you get healthy, they can't make any more money off you.
Well, why do you think that they push all the food that they do, all these?
They made us diabetics so that they could sell us diabetic shit. Yes.
I know all the doctors that actually found a cure for cancer died. Weird.
Well, just like all the people that figured out how to run engines on water, they got suicided.
America is not a country, it's a company.
Yeah. Well, it's just Facebook. Anytime I do something good, they shut me down. But last week I had a hard day and I said something negative, and not necessarily, it had a negative connotation in my Facebook group, and it's been there for 5 years. And that was my most popular post. It's now got 700 views.
Well,
my other ones get like 20. It's worked against us. Right? It is. And that's why we got to advocate. That's why I fight in this state. I mean, I would call the Colorado Behavioral Health this morning. I chewed through 3 or 4 people. I'm like, you better get the right people to me, because I got a lot of time and I'm insistent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, honey. It's always good. I'm glad that we get to do this now.
Me too. Let's do it again soon.
We will.
I know. I'm realizing we didn't really even talk about childhood traumas or like.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, that's why I love doing this, because I mean, I never plan anything because it's a God thing. It is. It's a spiritual thing. You don't even have to say it's a God thing. It's 2 people talking about stuff and working through it.
I needed this. I'm really going through it right now. So this is a good.
They're healing.
Distraction. Well, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, distraction from my own thoughts.
Well, when I find that when I'm going through things and I tell on myself, I feel a little bit better about it. See, once I tell on myself, it's easier to work through because now other people know and I'm not embarrassed anymore.
Yeah. It's not even just like embarrassment. It's just.
Yeah, I didn't think it was the right word either, but I couldn't think of anything else. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. Ingrid.
Thank you.
Amber, it's always good to see you too. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I love you.
I love you too.
Peace out.
Bye.